Okay, so hello guys. Today we're back with yet another exciting tutorial about IQ option strategies. So for today we're going to be explaining more how to set up our IQ option zigzag strategy, the one that almost everyone has been waiting for. So this is the long-awaited zigzag strategy for my subscribers. So first of all, we're not gonna be explaining how it works, but for today's tutorial we're just gonna be learning how to set it up, like from the beginning up to the end. So after setting it up, probably in the next tutorial we shall be going ahead and explaining how to use it and trade and bid and make profits like I do on a daily basis. So let's go ahead and jump into it right away. So step number one, my IQ is already open. Hopefully you already opened your IQ option. Now we're going to be using a 9-screen grid because we want to be monitoring a little bit more assets, including Bitcoin and some Forex pairs. So let me first choose this 9-screen, which is about here, and then we start off. Okay, so it has loaded successfully. Hopefully we shall be first of all removing all these, but let us first get it in only one screen so that you can see it in details and get to know how it works. Then later we can propagate it to the rest of the 9 screens in the 9 assets. Okay, so step one, let's go ahead and introduce it, talk about it, then we set it up. Now I saved it in my template and I called it, let me see, where should be this, yeah, CSS fraction. Now CSS is actually the name of the strategy, and basically this strategy is CSS. If at all you want to know the full meaning of CSS, or the full name, is actually called the Creighton's Combined Simulator Strategy. So it uses zigzags and resistances, and later we shall be introducing its advanced mode, but this is actually the primary mode that you can just use to make profits on a daily basis. So now this is how it looks. It kind of involves around 4 or 5 indicators, and one of them being the fractal. Some people call it resistance or the resistance indicator, but it's actually the fractal indicator, and it actually represents the resistances and anticipates a possibility of a change in trend. So after the fractal, then we have the zigzag. So they actually measure 2 indicators, but we have a triple zigzag and later on a quadruple zigzag. So but first of all, our zigzag, maybe for people who are not familiar with my chart, I actually use the hurricane candlesticks, the ones here, not the bars, not these normal candlesticks. Most people use these, but yes, you can use these. Actually, they are not so much different, but I like it when it's in actually this mode, the hurricane. But you can go ahead and use since they're not part of the system. So number one, that's the fractal. Number 2, we have the zigzag, but the first zigzag, in this case we have zigzag 100 being represented on the screen. Then later we have zigzag 60, zigzag 38. I will be giving reasons why we are using these. Then zigzag 7, and sometimes we also involve zigzag 5, and also I think zigzag 4 sometimes, but primarily we shall be dealing with only 3 types of zigzag: zigzag 100, zigzag 60, 38, and probably or later zigzag 7. So let's go ahead and just set it up. It's actually a simple setup. Then later we can propagate it to the 9 screens and the 9 assets that we'll be dealing in. So number one, let's just go ahead, click on our indicators, or we can just first of all remove them, then later we place them there. Go ahead and click on indicators, added. So we have the fractal, we can just remove it. So remove this, that, and that. So primarily this is just our chart, just have a candlesticks. So you can go ahead and create the fractal. Fractal is actually formed on others. Go to others, then I move over here to the side. You will find the fractal and hover over it. You can try to read about the fractal. It's actually a Japanese candlestick bars 5 series indicator, and it's actually meant to represent the maximum reversal point, or to predict a reversal point or a resistance where we could possibly have a change or a reversal in a trend. So you can put this, click on it, then it has periods, but we normally set it to the last period, which is actually 3, which is the minimum. Then the color, we normally leave it just like the way it is by default, a green for upper resistances and red or maroon for down resistances. So we normally leave it by default. Then you apply. I won't click on apply because I've already applied. So if you just new here, just click on apply to apply. So that's our fractal. I will just put it. So after adding it, it would actually look like this. Let me just. So this is how it looks like. Actually, most of the people that are using resistances, you can just trade using resistances, but you make sure you are in a bigger time intervals, starting from about 4 hours, at 8, and also at 12 hours, and then later on 1 day, 1 week, and 1 month. For example, if you are in 1 month at time interval, some people are actually combining investment and trading at the same time, so you find that they are working in higher time intervals of about 30 and 1 week. And some other people say that forex is better than on a weekly basis, and I actually kind of agree with them, but we have to take care of also for our daily traders. Okay, so this is our chart. Now imagine every candlestick here represents a month. Every candlestick or every bar represents a full month. Now to our month here that we've just started, which is actually March, 1st March, that just started yesterday, it shows that we are actually in an uptrend. This month expect a lot of uptrends in Bitcoin, in Audi card pair, forex Audi card pair. So maybe for your information, this strategy works in all pairs, all currency pairs, all cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, Dogecoin. Talk about it, all of these. You will find that this strategy works in all of them. So that's something very special with this strategy. The forex, the stocks, you can also employ it in stocks. You can put it in crypto, you can put it in commodities, the gold, the crude barrels, and the silver, and also the ETFs. It actually works also in options. I've seen people using in options. But what I wanted to put very fast is that every component of this system, every indicator in this system has been tested and proven right, and it can just trade on its own. That's the very beauty about this strategy. This combined, the Kraton is combined as simulator strategy, the CSS. Every component or every indicator in this strategy has been tested and proven to be trading along. So you can just imagine having your fractal and trading with your fractal. Only fractal can make profits for a lifetime. Now, for example, if you're in 1 month, now at this point here, what we have is actually resistance. We got a resistance here as we are moving down, meaning that this resistance will be pushing us back in an uptrend or in an opposite direction. So that's why we have a lot of uptrends in Audi card this month. So the month that has actually just started of recent. So let's check on Bitcoin and we see how perfect this could be. Bitcoin 100. Something applies, but this month of March 1st, you can see the date here down here. It shows that we are actually, the candlestick that we've formed is actually a response. The resistance came a long time ago in about January 1st, meaning that from January 1st we had started moving back up into an uptrend. So finally on March 3rd, we see a very big change in in the trend. So the next bar, it shows that, and no wonder that's why we're having so much uptrends, and Bitcoin has gone back to 44,398 price. Okay, so you see that just only one indicator that is just part of the system can trade on its own. So that's the beauty of this system. So that's the fractal. Let's go ahead and introduce another indicator, which is the zigzag. I would like to start with the zigzag 100, which is a little bit easier to implement. Zigzag is actually a trend. Yeah, it's a trend indicator. So go over to your trend, move over to the right side, then scroll down. It's actually at the bottom. Click on your zigzag, and you can read about it. I will be explaining more about zigzag in some video. I'm very sure I will be making a single videos of a single indicator, explaining how it can work and how it can trade alone. You know, I've recent read somewhere that some traders cannot use only one indicator trade, but I've discovered from my research that sometimes you can use, not just sometimes, but actually it has been proven right that you can use only one indicator trade on some conditions. So I will be explaining how you can just use zigzag to trade and make profits on a daily basis. Now it has some basic settings. It's percentage, just like I said. Our first percentage will be zigzag 100, and then the next will be 60, then the next 38, then the next 7, the next 15, something like that. So we shall explain more as we triple down. Now the colors are just by default, but you can just change. My zigzag 100, I normally give it a solid color of green for up and red for down. So that's basic. You can just go ahead and apply, but anyways, I've already applied. You can just cancel the colors. You can use the colors you want. Then let me go ahead and apply my 100, zigzag 100. Okay, so this is what we have now. Let me just put it back to about 1 week. Yeah, so you can see how perfect it is. Or even in for forexers, people who are dealing in forex, it's actually better trade in weeks. We can just put it in 1 day, and we see what is transpiring for today. For example, today is actually is it the 2nd? Yeah, today is the yeah. Let me see. It hasn't registered it, but we'll be registering it in a couple of days, I think. So we are in a Bitcoin 8 hour, the 2nd of March. So it is telling you that we shall be having a little bit of a fall. That's 8 hour, but if you go for 12 hour, which is actually the most recommended time frame for my strategies, all my strategies, my 12 hours is saying that we shall be having a little bit of an uptrend. So we shall see how that happens and transpires along as we work on. So let's go ahead and see how we can implement the next indicator, which is actually zigzag 60. Go ahead, click on zigzag. Just do the same as we did for zigzag 100. I'll go for trend. Then you can scroll down back to zigzag. You can change your percentage to 60. Then you can go ahead and change your color according to how you want it. Make sure that it's completely different from what you're having right now, such that you don't mix up. So you will see that we really have zigzag 100 and zigzag 60 kind of different, and I will be explaining, just like I said, just stay put, learn how to implement the strategy. I will be explaining the strategy in the next tutorial. Okay. So let's go ahead and implement zigzag the next, which is zigzag 38. Scroll down, zigzag, just do the same, change the percentage 38. Then also you can go for the display, put the colors that are a little bit different from what you've been using, and make sure they're a little bit different according to your colors, according to how you're going to be identifying. This is for a downtrend, then this is for an uptrend. So you can go ahead and click on apply, but I already have it here in my list of indicators that I already applied. Just have clicked on it and it will apply. Okay, so finally we have our 38, our 60 here, and our 100 there. Now let's go ahead and also apply for, let me see what else. I think that's all. We shall be applying zigzag 7 later on, and I will tell you why. But as per now, let's just work with only those ones. It could be enough. So this is a full setup. You can go ahead and save it as a template here. Save it as your template around here. Save your template. You can call it testing. The new save. Now after saving, you can go ahead and propagate it across all the 9 screens. So let's put all the 9 screens here. Click on more grids, then have all the assets being displayed. Then first thing we want to do is to apply our template, or I call it this. Make sure it applies perfectly. Then go ahead and also apply it on the next screen. So we have to apply it to all 9 screens. Okay, so we're done applying. Let's go ahead and also change the time intervals. Now, one thing that I forgot to tell you is that this strategy works perfect with a 12-hour interval. It can also work with any other interval, but I would recommend that you use it in a 12-hour interval. So let's go ahead and change the hour interval. You can just put it in 8 and work in 8, and also a 4-hour interval, but I would recommend, or highly recommend, you use this in a 12-hour interval. So finally we are done applying the time and the time intervals. So next we shall be making the dominant indicator so visible and also hyped on top, such that we can just see. The dominant indicator in this strategy is actually the zigzag 100. So you kind of remove it and reapply such that it comes on top. Remove, apply. So if you do that, you just see it on top. So finally we are done putting the dominant indicator on top. So now let's go ahead and do the last part, which is putting the auto close, because it works with auto close. You can put a 10% on every time interval, such that you can always be ready to enter trades, enter bids, and harvest 10%. Okay, so this is our strategy. This is how it looks like. In the next tutorial, I'll be explaining how to use it. We shall be actually entering live trends with you using this strategy. So for today, just get the strategy, set it up in your IQ option system or app, and probably in the evening I'll be finding some time, and we shall sit and talk about how to use the strategy to enter trends, or to bid, or to make profits. What I can assure you with this strategy, you will be making consistent profits per day, and if you follow the strategy, and you keep the discipline, you might end up making only profits for a lifetime. So that's all, guys, for this video. I will be seeing you in the next video. I will explain how the strategy is used. Okay, so goodbye for now. See you in the next video.